and gentlemen, this is Mark, also known as the Wii Nintendo Game Boy. This is another dogfight video, but this time I'm here in my car. I just completed show number 1 of 3, supposedly 3. Um, During the show, it started snowing. As you can see right here, there's already snow in my car. It's 9:50 right now, Eastern Standard Time, where I am at. And so very quickly before I get going, I just wanted to show you a couple of things. This is the program. It's very cleverly um, it's cleverly hidden in that in a top secret folder, and I'll go over it more when I get home. But I'm glad to have found a program actually lying around. I didn't get my own program, um, but I did find one lying around, and so I get to take it for a personal collection. But so now what happens next is just simply a waiting game at this point. Um, the university has canceled Saturday classes, which is the right decision to make, therefore postponing our show until Sunday. But because this storm is large and it's probably going to take more than at least 24 to 36 hours to get away, I mean I wouldn't know. I'm just like kind of like estimating at this point. Sunday shows could also be jeopardized. If we're able to get one show on Sunday, that would be good. Um, but like I said, this storm is going to be bad. It's already bad right now. There's a lot of wind. There's a lot of snow falling down. I'm just waiting for my car to warm up at this point, and I'm going to be heading home. Um, so if we're able to get a Sunday performance in, I feel like it's not gonna, you know, we hope to have a big crowd, but I wouldn't blame people for not coming, just for the sake of staying home, staying safe, and staying away from any kind of dangerous icy conditions. But for me, duty calls, and I have to be here on Sunday. That is, if I can even get out of my house and drive 20 miles to the college. So, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching these videos. If you've been keeping up with these dogfight videos, I appreciate it. And again, comment and subscribe to Wii Nintendo Game Boy. So thank you, and off to the next scene. So, as you saw in that clip, the plan of attack was to move the Saturday show to Sunday evening while keeping the matinee performance, which was at 3 p.m. So basically, we were going to have a double header, the 3 p.m. show and the 7 p.m. So after the parking lots were cleared at school, the university determined that Monday's classes would also be canceled of the plowing of the park because the plowing of the parking lots resulted in a huge pile of snow that covered over 50% of the parking lots. There wasn't any place to put the snow, so several dump trucks actually had to be hauled in to remove the snow from the lots. And I spoke to some of my friends who dorm, and they told me that many people were willing to pay anyone who had a shovel just to borrow it and dig out of their car. And pretty much this last week was crazy. And obviously, with Monday classes being canceled, we couldn't get our Sunday shows in. And really, this snowstorm was much more potent than originally forecasted. It lasted Friday night into Saturday, lasting 24 hours. I was quite worried about getting the Sunday show in. I was thinking to myself, there's no way that we were going to get a Sunday show in. Now when you have to dig out of 2 feet of snow just to get your car out. And by then one would be drained from digging out of the snow. So, throughout this week we were very everything was crazy. I've been text I've been getting a lot of text messages from Dan, who was our music director for the pit, and there were a lot of uncertainty in terms of when we were going to get the two shows in. The first message that I got was that we were going to get the shows rescheduled for today, January 31st, the date I'm filming this video right now, this particular clip. And then
And then later on in the week, he told me that we were going to have the shows rescheduled for January 28th, 2016. And that's exactly what happened. We ended up getting the Saturday and Sunday shows rescheduled for those two dates. For those, well, he, okay, so he got mixing up my words a little bit here. So we ended up getting the two dates rescheduled on one day, which was Thursday, January 28th. Um, but I'll elaborate more on that later, because the point of this particular video is just to talk about opening nights. So enough about the snow talk. Let's get right into the heart of the matter. Um, so basically, it was a culmination of hard work and long hours of rehearsing since October. It all came together in front of a sold out audience. And for me, it was a historic moment as this performance marks my first official theatrical performance. I don't count the rehearsals as, as involved being as that um that main milestone. The whole experience was a milestone, yes, but that one performance where you now get to show off what you've learned in those rehearsals all comes together that day, January 22, 2016. Prior to that date, I've never been involved in any type of theater performance, not in elementary school, middle, or high school, not even through my first 3 years of college. Mm, You know, not in acting, not in stage managing, lighting, sound, or music until that very day. Isn't it good to be 21? So, most often, a first in anything for anyone is a moment to never forget. That's because the first could potentially set up one for exponential growth. And after all, isn't life one big learning experience? And I can tell you there were so many things that I remembered so vividly that I don't think I could fit everything into one video. So, like, so now I'm just gonna talk you through the most important highlights as I sat through and performed with the pit. Um, and it's also good because as you can tell, I'm a little bit sick. I just came off of a cold. Um, I don't want to go back to the snow talk. I know I said that I didn't want to go back to that, but what happened was the result of shoveling and digging my car out got me sick, got me got me a really nasty cold um, that even is continuing to this day. So I'm probably not gonna really talk too much. Hopefully I can truncate everything into maybe you know um, another 5 to 6 minutes, and you'll hear me stop rambling. So, okay, so the show's director Morgan really thought out of the box when putting this show together, and I'll elaborate more as I make more videos in the series. Um, but one of the things she put together was a half-hour pre-show where on one set of speakers, 60s jazz music is playing, and on a wall in front of the audience is a projector that is playing a montage of different pop cultural events from the 1960s, creating a cacophony of noise while on stage. Strobe with a strobe light flashing over the main character, Eddie Birdlace, laying on the ground sleeping. At the end of the pre-show, the lights dim and a sound effect of a war battle is used to show the audience that Eddie is on the verge of waking up from that nightmare. And that's where that takes us into that prelude where he wakes up and we see that he has post traumatic stress disorder from fighting in the war. And that opening scene takes place on a bus in 1967, heading to San Francisco, coming home from Vietnam. Almost the entire musical is a flashback to 1963, with occasional scenes taking place in the present time. Okay, so I hope I didn't spoil too much for you, but during that pre-show, so many thoughts were running in my head. I was actually quite nervous, and even though I was well hidden from view from the audience, there was a sense of apprehension that and because of that jumbled mix of noise from that pre-show, it helped enhance that nervousness. I was mainly worried about getting away from the vamps at the correct time, and if I played a wrong note, could I recover in time? Since this was a rock musical with a lot of piano heavy songs, I felt like this hinged a lot on me. But I did not want to think about the magnitude that the music has on the show. I just wanted to play the first few notes, um, and quickly settle in. And thankfully, that's what happened. All the pre show jitters subsided, and I took on that mentality that, okay, I've worked so hard learning the music. I've rehearsed this so many times. What's the reason for me to get nervous? Just have fun with it. So throughout the show, we were on cue for the most part. There were some slip ups here and there, but we managed to recover nicely. Many slip ups were covered by other instruments, so it's not like anyone got singled out for it. We really had a packed house for opening night, and the audience was quite boisterous and loud. They sounded like they really had a good time, and they really enjoyed the show. When we finished the show, we all came out and greeted the crowd. There were a lot of theater majors who were in the audience, as well as family members of the performers, which probably explains the reason why the crowd was so energized. I mean, obviously you want an energized crowd either way, but this particular night was just so special. Um, you also had to take into account that a huge snowstorm was about to rear its ugly head on us, prompting a lot of people to go to this show. I'm sure the crowd would have been boisterous either way, but it made people want to come in earlier so that they can get a seat. According to one of the ushers, many people had to be turned away because the theater had already maxed out at 85. So in the end, I got a lot of congrats from people who I knew who were in the audience. They knew that this was my first production that I've ever been part of, and they were quite gracious, which was much appreciated. But what mattered in the end was that we made it through. We had fun doing it too, and the crowd got on their feet at the end. I couldn't really see that well, but there was like this you know, little crack in the curtain where you could see part of the audience, and you could hear them just cheer vociferously and stand up. And to me, that was a mission accomplished. So it was a great show. I enjoyed opening night, and I'll elaborate further on the makeup shows in another video. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching, and be sure to share your thoughts, and subscribe to We Nintendo Game Boy. Thank you.